Hello students, in this video lecture we will discuss about scroll bars, text field and text area. After that we will discuss one important concept in this unit, that is layout managers. So these are the concepts we will cover in this video lecture. So in that, the first one is scroll bars. Scroll bars are used to select continuous values between a specified minimum and maximum range. That means scroll bars are used to select some region or some value between some minimum and maximum range of values. These scroll bars may be oriented either horizontally or vertically. A scroll bar is actually a composite of several individual parts. Each end has an arrow that we can click to move the current value of the scroll bar one unit in the direction of the arrow. The current value of the scroll bar relative to its minimum and maximum values is indicated by the slider box or thumb. For the scroll bar, the slider box can be dragged by the user to a new position. The scroll bar will then reflect this value. In the background space on either side of the thumb, the user can click to cause the thumb to jump in that direction by some increment larger than 1. Typically, this action translates into some form of page up and page down. Scroll bars are encapsulated by the scroll bar class. So in this Word document window, this window contains, this is the scroll bar. So this scroll bar may be aligned either vertically or horizontally. So this is vertical scroll bar. Then at bottom, horizontal scroll bar is also placed. For creating the scroll bar, we have mainly three constructors. One is scroll bar without any arguments. Second one, scroll bar one integer type of argument, that is style. This style may be either horizontal or vertical. So for that we need to use one integer constant as scroll bar dot vertical or scroll bar dot horizontal. So that indicates the orientation of the scroll bar, that is either vertical or horizontal. Then the third constructor is that takes, these are the arguments. First one, style, either horizontal or vertical. Then int I value, int t size, int minimum value and int max value. So here int I value is nothing but initial value of the scroll bar. So we can set the initial position for the scroll bar. So for example, if we take, this is the scroll bar, so here this is the minimum value, this is the maximum value. Then at this time the scroll bar is placed here. So like that we can initialize the scroll bar value to some value, some position, that is nothing but I value or initial value. After that, that scroll bar size, that means height of the scroll bar. Then scroll bar minimum value and scroll bar maximum value. So that indicates the scroll bar size, that means with the minimum value and then max value. So like that, total we have three constructors for creating the scroll bars. So related to these scroll bars, we have the methods. One is void set values. Suppose if I create a scroll bar by using first constructor, then it is necessary to set or setting the values. So for that we have the method set values. This takes, by using this we can set initialization value, scroll bar size, minimum value, and then max value. Suppose if you want to set the value for that scroll bar, we have the method get value. For setting the value we have set value, and for getting the scroll bar value we have the method get value. Then to get the minimum value of the scroll bar we have a get minimum method. For getting the maximum value of the scroll bar we have get maximum. So we can set increment, that means while scrolling the scroll bar, to move from one part to one region to another region, so we can set that as unit increment or as block increment. Now we will see how the scroll bars are created with example program. So here two packages are imported, one is AWT package, another one is applet package. Then this is applet tag. So after that, one public class definition by extending applet. So that for using this applet class we need to import this applet package. For using scroll bar class we need to use AWT package. We need to import AWT package. So here take string type of variable initializing with empty string. I go to create two scroll bar objects. One is vertical scroll bar, another one is horizontal scroll bar. Then I go to override init method. So this is the method of applet class. Next, int width equal to integer dot %, get parameter width. So we take the width value, some width value, after that height value. So for giving these values to the scroll bar, then we go to create vertical scroll bar first as vertex v equal to new scroll bar. Then the orientation here is vertical, that means style of the scroll bar is vertical. So vertical scroll bar looks like this. Then initial value, then thumb size, then minimum value, and then maximum value. So like that horizontal scroll bar is created with these things. So here also orientation is scroll bar dot horizontal, then remaining values, remaining initializations. So after creating the two scroll bars, one is vertical scroll bar, another one is horizontal scroll bar, we need to add these scroll bars to the container. So that means to the window. So that here is add of vertex v. First vertical scroll bar is added to the applet window. After that horizontal scroll bar is added. Then we go to override paint method. So for taking the scroll bar values while running the program, so scroll bar value, to get the scroll bar value we have the method get value. Which scroll bar value we need to get for that? So here I want to get the vertical scroll bar value, so that's why vertex v dot get value. For getting the horizontal scroll bar value, horizontal sv dot get value. So then those values are printed on the monitor, on the applet window. So like this output, two scroll bars are created. So this is horizontal scroll bar and this is vertical scroll bar. First vertical scroll bar is added, after that horizontal scroll bar is added. So that is about scroll bars. So next component we will discuss is text field, after that text area. So these two AWT components are the subclasses of a text component. So in that first we will discuss about text field. Text field class implements a single line text entry area. So that means text field is an readability component that allows us to enter a text in single line. So simply that allows us to enter the data in single line. Text fields allow the user to enter strings and to edit the text using an arrow keys, cut and paste keys and mouse selections. Text field is a subclass of text component. So for creating the text field object, we have these are the constructors. So in that text field no argument, text field with a specified number of characters, then text field with initialization string, text field with initialization string and size of the text field. Size of the text field is nothing but how many number of characters that text field shows to the user. So that is nothing but size of the text field. So here also that is how many number of characters that text field shows to the user. So the third one is text field with some initialization string. So then for getting the text present in the text field, we have the method called getText. So whatever the text present in the text field, so to get the text we have the method called getText. Suppose if I created a text field object by using this constructor, after some time I want to set some text. For that we have the method setText with some string. Sometimes we can get the selected text from the text field. For that also we have the method getSelectedText. That means suppose the text field contains the string hello, after by giving some space world, that means hello world. Suppose I select only hello. At the time what is the selected text in that text field, so that we can get by executing the method getSelectedText. Simply that returns hello, that means selected text. Sometimes we can select the text in the text field by giving starting index and ending index. That means between this range the text is selected and that is returned by using the method called select. So then two more methods, setReadable, boolean candidate. So that means we can make the text field does not allows for any editing, that means that does not allows for making any changes. So that for doing that we need to execute setReadable by giving the boolean value as false. SetReadable false means that text field can't be editable. Suppose I want to know the text field is editable or not. So for that also we have the method isEditable, that returns either true or false. If the text field is editable, that returns true, otherwise that returns false. So and also we have setEchoChar method. SetEchoChar method is used to echoing the character as some other character. Mainly this method is useful for making or for converting text field as password field. So password field is nothing but in the password field if we enter any password, that means any combination of characters, any character is displayed as a single character as stars or as question marks, like that. So what is the meaning of that is whatever the character we typed in that field, that is echoed as some other character. For that purpose we have the method called setEchoChar method. By using this method we can convert our text field as password field. So then to check echo char is set or not, we have the method. Then get echo char. So what is the character we echoed, that also we can get by the execution of get echo char. So then we will see one example program for demonstrating the text field. So I imported two packages, AWT and then applet. So then applet tag is written here in comment lines. Public class definition text field demo extends applet. Then we go to create two text fields with the names. One is name, another one is FAS. So after that, overriding init method. So here one label object is created as label name p equal to new label name. Then this label is already in previous video lectures we discussed about label. So we go to align this label by using right alignment. Second label password field. So with the caption password and alignment is right. Then we go to create the text field. How to create the text field? By using text field, then 12. So here this text field is created with the length of 12 characters. That means that shows 12 characters to the user at a time. Then second text field is created with 8 characters length. Next we make the second text field, that is FAS field, as password field, that is FAS dot set echo char. Within the single quotation marks we need to give the echoing character. So that means whatever the characters we typed in this text field, those characters are displayed as question marks. So generally that is called as the password field. So after that we need to add all these components. In this example program, total we have 4 AWT components, 2 label objects and 2 text field objects. We need to add those components in order. First we add this first label, that is nothing but name. This one, this is label. After that we go to add text field, first text field, that is nothing but this one, that is added here. Then the second text field, second label, that is second label, FAS field label, this one. Then the second text field, that is FAS, this one. So here we type the message Irfan, that is displayed as it is. Like that we go to display some password here, some characters here. Those characters are not displayed as it is because those are echoed as question mark. So whatever the character we typed here, that is displayed as the question mark. So this kind of field is referred as the password field. So that means for creating the password field in AWT, first we need to create the text field, and on that text field we need to execute set echo char method to make the text field as the password field like this. So that is about text field creation and adding the text fields to the applet window. So that is about a text field that allows us to enter the single line data like this. Then second one is another AWT component is text area. So text area is nothing but this allows us to enter multi-line text. So multi-line text is nothing but this one is called text area. This allows us to enter multi-line text. So in our Word document also, that is text area that allows us to enter multi-line text. For creating that kind of components, we have the class called text area. The difference between text field and text area is text field allows only single line data entry. Text area allows multi-line messages entry or that displays multi-line messages to the user. So for creating the text area, we have the method text area without any argument, then text area with the number of rows and number of columns, then text area with initialization string, and number of rows and number of columns, text area with initialization string, number of rows, number of columns, and scroll bars attachment like this. So we can add scroll bars to the text area. So because the text area contains multi lines data, to view all the lines compulsory we need to add scroll bars. That means either vertical scroll bars or horizontal scroll bars we can add to the text area. We can add only horizontal scroll bar by using this constant, vertical scroll bar by using this. Suppose no scroll bar, sometimes we can attach both the scroll bars. So this is the example program that demonstrates text area. So two packages are importing, then applet is defined, then initialization init method. So I go to take some message, multi-line message like this. Then I go to create a text area object by using text area text. This is object name, new text area. Then val is nothing but this is the message placed in val. That message we add it to the text area. Then number of rows 10 rows and number of columns in each row 30. So that means 10 rows are there. Here 10 rows are visible, like that 30 characters are visible, 30 columns are visible, like this. After creating the text area object, we need to add the text area object to the applet window by using add method like this. Then we get this is the output. This is the text area with the initialization string and 10 rows and 30 columns, and both the scroll bars are attached automatically. So that is about text area. So now we will discuss one more important concept, that is about layout managers. Layout manager is a technique used by the AWT to arrange the components and the containers in some manner. Simply, layout manager is the manager that arranges the components and the containers like applet and frame in some manner, in some way. So for that purpose we use layout managers. So that used to arrange the components on the windows in some manner or in some way. So in AWT the layout managers are implemented as interfaces. These interfaces are each layout manager interface is implemented by some of the layout manager classes. For setting the layout manager for any window, we have the method set layout. So by default each window has one layout manager. By default each container or each window has one default layout manager that arranges the components in its own style. Suppose if the user wants to set the layout manager explicitly. For that purpose, we have the method called set layout. Then we need to specify the particular layout manager object, which layout manager we want to set for that particular window for arranging the components. That layout manager we need to specify here. So mainly Java AWT supports, these are the 5 basic layout managers. First one is flow layout, border layout, grid layout, card layout, and then grid bag layout manager. So these are the 5 layout managers. These 5 layout managers are arranges the components on the windows in its own style. That means the particular layout manager arranges the components on the windows in its own style. We will see one by one how the layout managers arranges the components on the window, but in what styles. So in first we will discuss about flow layout manager. Flow layout manager arranges the components on the windows starting from upper left corner and moving towards to right. When the right bottom is over, then that moves to down. So simply flow layout manager arranges the components similar to words flow in a text editor. So while typing our data in any text editor that starts with this position and moves in this direction, whenever that reaches to end, that comes to this position, and like this. That means simply that arranges the components from left to right and top to bottom. Arranges the components from left to right and then top to bottom. In that style, flow layout manager arranges the components. For doing that, flow layout manager is defined by using 3 constructors. One is flow layout without any argument. Second one flow layout. Second one int how. Then flow layout int how, int horizontal gap, and then vertical gap. So in these 3 constructors, the first form creates a default layout with 5 pixels of space between each component. The second form specifies how each line is aligned. Valid alignment constants are left, center, and then right. So the meaning of that is, the second constructor, in second constructor we can specify the alignment constant. That means the components arranging needs to starts from left, or needs to starts from center, or needs to start in right alignment manner. So that we can specify by using these constants. So left is nothing but, if we give this value, the component arranging starting from this position. Suppose if we give center, the component, first component is placed here. Suppose the second component is placed, then that is moved towards left and next one is placed. So like that the total line is filled. Then flow layout dot right. So initial component placed at right. So after that, whenever next component is placed, that moves to left. So this kind of things we can see in our Word document also. This is called align text left, this is center, and this is right. So equivalent to these 3 things, the flow layout has the constants flow layout dot left, flow layout dot center, flow layout dot right. So this is the example program that demonstrates flow layout manager. So in this example, I created one label, 2 label objects with the name, with the captions username, password, and 3 label objects and address, 3 text fields. and 2 buttons. Total 3 labels, 3 text fields, and then 2 buttons with the captions OK and then cancel. Then we go to add the components in order. Add L1, add T1, add L2, add T2, like this. So in this example, for setting the layout, we use the method set layout, then new flow layout. So here for this window, we use the flow layout manager. Flow layout manager arranges the components from left to right and top to bottom. So here the alignment constant we use is left. We may use flow layout dot left, flow layout dot center, or flow layout dot right. So then we get this is the output. So that arranges the components starting with left. First username is, that is label, is placed here. After that text field 1, label 2, text field 2, then address, then another text field. Actually this is text area, then OK button, then cancel button. So like this the flow layout manager arranges the components from left to right and then top to bottom. So next we will move to second layout manager, that is border layout manager. Border layout manager arranges the components in 5 regions of the window. So that means that divides the window into 5 regions and arranges mainly 5 components or 5 groups of components in those 5 regions. That layout manager is called as the border layout manager. Simply that arranges the components into 5 regions of the window. Those 5 regions are mainly referred as the, like this. This is top, this is bottom, this is left, this is right, and this is the center. So that means the window is divided into 5 regions: top region, bottom region, left region, right region, and center region. So like that the window is divided into 5 regions. In those 5 regions the components are placed. So like that the border layout manager arranges the components by dividing the window into 5 regions. These 5 regions are referred as, the top one is referred as the north. This means this region is referred as the north. Then this bottom is referred as the south. This left side is referred as the west, and this right side is referred as the east. Then this is referred as the center. Okay, so first we will discuss about border layout constructors. So border layout, then border layout horizontal gap and vertical gap. So first one creates a border layout with the default horizontal and vertical space between the components. The second constructor specifies horizontal and vertical gaps explicitly. Horizontal and vertical gap is nothing but, suppose this is the component we have, suppose these are the components we have: left button, center button, and then right button. Between left button and center button, how much gap is placed, that we can mention as vertical gap. Suppose between left button and bottom button, how much gap we can place, how much gap between left button and bottom button, that we can specify as horizontal gap. So that means between the components we can maintain horizontal gap and then vertical gap by using this constructor. Then these are the constants we need to use with border layout manager. So then we go to write one example program. So here first we go to set the border layout manager by using set layout. Then directly we go to add one button, we go to add new button with the caption top button. We go to add this button in the region called north. So caption is top button, where this button needs to place, that is in north position. So this position is called north position. For the window this is the north position. So on position this component is added, that is button is added. So we go to create a new button, another button with the caption bottom button, and this we go to add in which position? South position. South position is nothing but this down position that we add by using add method. So like that we go to create one more button for placing east, that is nothing but left button, right button, that is placed here. Then another button, left button, that is placed west side. Then we go to create a message like this. Then we go to create a text area with this message with 3 lines of data. We go to add this component in center position by using add this text area object. Then in which position we go to place this one? Center position. So like that the border layout manager divides the window into 5 regions, and in those 5 regions the 5 components or 5 groups of components are added like this. So that is about border layout manager. So next we will move to discuss grid layout manager. Grid layout manager layouts the components by dividing the window into some collection of grids. Grid is nothing but the total window is divided into some collection of equal size grids. That means the window is divided into some collection of equal size rows and then columns like this. So here each cell size is same, all the cells are of same size. So like that the total window is divided into like this. Each cell is called as the grid. This one is called grid. So this kind of arrangement is performed by the layout manager called grid layout. So this has total 3 constructors mainly: grid layout without any argument, grid layout with a specified number of rows and columns. So total here 1 2 3 4 rows are there. Each row consists of 4 columns, so that we can specify by using rows and columns, 4 rows and then 4 columns. Then rows and columns and then horizontal and vertical gap between the components. We can specify the gap also. Suppose between 1 and 2 some space we can specify by using vertical gap. Between 1 and 5 also we can specify some space. That space is called as the horizontal space. We don't specify that, the default space is placed between the components, that is 5 pixels. Then if you see the example program, so here an applet class is defined like this, then init method. So we set the layout manager here by using set layout manager as grid layout with 4 rows and 4 columns, 4 rows and then 4 columns. Then we go to add some buttons. So for that we write one I loop starting with 0 to less than 4, 0 to 3 and 0 to 3 here also. then int k equal to I into n plus j. If k greater than 0, add new button k. So that means total, if k greater than 0 means total that creates the values from 0 to 15. So here we write the condition k greater than 0. That means the buttons are starting with 1. So that's why first button is 1, k value 1, after that 2. So that caption is attached to the button, that button is added to the window like this. So this is the output we get. So that is about grid layout. So next layout manager we go to see is the card layout manager. Card layout manager arranges the components similar to our playing cards. So that means all the playing cards are arranged as a shuffle or as a group. So in that group at a particular time we can see only one card. So that kind of arrangement is possible by using the card layout manager. So that has two constructors, card layout horizontal gap and then vertical gap. So then for adding the components, add method. So for moving to the different cards or different positions of the components, so we have the methods. First, if we use this one, so whatever the component or whatever the card we placed on that deck of cards, for that card we can move by using the method first. So like that, to move to the last card, suppose we are at third position at third card, we want to move to the next card, that is fourth card, we have the method next. So like that, to move to the previous card from the current position, we have a previous method. So to show the particular card, we have the method show. So these are the methods associated with the card layout manager. Compulsory we need to use these methods for implementing the card layout manager. So then next layout manager is grid bag layout manager. So grid bag layout manager is the extension of grid layout manager. So grid layout manager arranges the components by dividing the window into equal size grids, whereas grid bag layout manager allows the user to divide the window into unequal size grids. That means one grid is big size and one grid is small size. That means different sizes of grids we can place by using the grid bag layout manager. For example, in this diagram we have total 4 buttons. In these 4 buttons, the first and third buttons are of same size, and second one some different size, and fourth one different size. So like that we can divide the window into unequal size grids by using grid bag layout manager. So that is about grid bag layout manager.